Courtney, I had received your sample material and you sent me a couple different stacks of the paper that you cut for your invitations to sample, first of all, with a .937 high steel rule die. Now this is just a one-up die, just will cut one square out. You would actually design your die to cut several squares out at one time. As we discussed, with this type of press, or 700 press, you can do 60 linear inches of pattern per cut. Now with this type of die, I would not recommend trying to cut more than 3 layers at a time. Another thing they can do with a steel rule die, they can put retractable registration pins in. You can use these pins to align your material so that it's in registration every time you cut. With this type of die, you'd have the die on the bottom, blade facing up. You would have your cutting board. That's a sacrificial surface that you cut against, mounted to the top. I've got clamps on there, but there are holes where you can mount the board with bolts and nuts. So I'm going to take 3 sheets of the sample material. I'm going to lay it on the die, slide it in, flick it out, and as you'll see, we get a nice clean cut. Now these obviously were not in registration since this die was not designed for your cuts exactly, but you can see from the sample materials that I'm going to send back to you that you get a nice clean edge cut. The next type of die that I'm going to sample is the 1¼ inch forged die. Now with this type of die, you actually have your cutting board is on the bottom, and you would put your stack of material on top of the cutting board. Now, with a forged die, you actually align your die by eye. So I'll put the die on there, I'll slide it in, flick it out, and again, you'll see we get a nice clean cut. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to send both stacks of samples back to you. I will then give you a call to discuss. Thank you very much.